This episode is sponsored by Evolve Bootcamp, my outdoor functional fitness program that delivers a sense of warmth, friendliness, and spirit, along with butt-kicking, hellishly fun-filled workouts that embody a caring attitude, evoking the idea everybody that exercises outside has no boundaries and naturally evolves. Class begins at 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Mention this podcast and come by for a trial class at the Boston Common if you dare. Welcome to the Evolve WMMA podcast featuring the greatest upcoming female fighters on the planet. They are women who have gone against conventional thinking to pursue their dreams. These fighters inspire, empower, and unleash excellence within a new generation of female athletes as they rise and evolve into the best possible version of themselves through the power of mixed martial arts. Hey, this is Evolve WMMA, and I'm your host, Shelley Devine. So I'm really excited to share with you all. It seemed like a last minute thing. I know for me, it was a last minute thing to find out about. Well, Invicta FC 54 is coming here to Boston, my hometown. So some of you folks may have been following mixed martial arts or MMA since it began with the Gracies some 20 years ago. I know we have a huge following here in the Boston area and in New England. And you've watched its evolution from being perceived as cockfighting to a blood sport to becoming an actual recognized global sport. And some of you may even remember, when Dana White came onto this scene and started the Ultimate Fighter show. And years later, he swore that women would never enter the cage. Well, I think when he stated that, it was some 11 years ago. And since then, Invicta FC began, thanks to the progressive vision of Shannon Knapp. And today we see more women making a career in sports, and we're here to stay. So having Invicta come to Boston is yet another milestone in the journey of mixed martial arts. I mean, geez, it took 11 years for them to actually have a live show in Boston on October 27th at the House of Blues. It's the first time here in Boston, and I'm thrilled and excited to see this happen and hope it will inspire more young girls and boys too. But I'm for the girls. I'm rooting for the girls and female athletes. And I'm so honored to have the opportunity to speak with some of these fighters. And this show, as well as several ones that I'm going to be pushing out this week for your enjoyment to listen to and catch up with some of the new fighters that have come onto the scene. I would say it's like the next generation. So my next guest is joining us from the mountains of Idaho. She also trains with Straight Blast Gym, but in Idaho instead of Ireland. And she's also a newcomer to Invicta FC. She'll be facing Germany's Julia Dorny in a featherweight contest here in Boston at the House of Blues. I'm so excited, on October 27th, next Friday. So I'd like to welcome to the show Invicta FC featherweight fighter, Riley Martinez. Hey Riley, welcome to the show. I'm so happy that you were able to join on such short notice. I know you have a big fight coming up next week, and you were training just probably about an hour before we've met here today. How did training go? You said you had a hard one.
Oh, it went super good. It was good. Last hard one in the books. I had a lot of great teammates show up and just help me get those rounds and get my sweat going. Weight cut is perfect, really. I'm on basically weight right now. So just coasting through these next few days will be the end of it. And then we leave Wednesday. So it's exciting.
So are you super excited to be fighting? I know this will be your third professional fight, but you kind of got picked up by Invicta. Was that how did that whole process go?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I've been wanting to like expand everything and just get out there a little more. And, all of a sudden they just reached out to us. It was a contract, a 4-fight deal for a year. And this will be my first fight. I am so excited. Been able to fight here. And then I fought in Utah. So it's just awesome to be able to travel to Boston and fight for such a big organization and just all the women that are in it. I think that's just really cool. I'm excited for that.
Were you surprised when I mean, what was your reaction when they called you? I mean, it's a big one.
I I was pretty excited. Yeah, I was like, heck yes, let's go, let's do this. I know there's a lot of that's like the next level for me. So, and then whatever else happens after that, but this is like that start to maybe UFC, who knows? But Invicta is such a wonderful organization. I've been watching them my whole life, so it's kind of cool to be fighting for them right now.
That's awesome. So your whole life, how long has that been? Just out of curiosity. So, because I'm thinking,
well, I mean, I am 32. I've been training for almost 9 years now.
yeah.
And I've always wanted to get into MMA and fighting and boxing, everything. So I've been training for 9 years at SBG Idaho. Almost 9 exactly.
So what got you to decide to train? Were you were watching, some of the other female fighters that came up years ago, like, Gina Carano, Chris Cyborg, and there's even more behind them, but like, did those women inspire you, like Ronda Rousey, and then as we move forward, all the others that have come forward? Or did you watch the guys fight, or was it just something that came naturally to you and you didn't know about them? Because I know my last interview, she had staged, she goes, no, I didn't know nothing. and I'm like, how could you not know?
I know of Chris Cyborg. I've actually met her at an IBJJF tournament. I've known of all of those ladies. This is just something that I really was passionate about, wanting to just do. My cousin boxed for a really long time. My uncle owned a boxing gym called Vista Boxing here in Boise, Idaho, and I've kind of grown up just seeing that. And then, I was just one day I found SVG. I literally walked in and I signed a contract, joined up with them, and it literally took off. I had 4 fights within the first year of joining with them. And that was pretty cool because 4 fights in a year is a lot. Because right now I'm like once a year if I can get that right now.
Right. What were the 4 or 5? Were they MMA or boxing, or were they jiu-jitsu, or the whole, like MMA, the whole thing?
The whole thing, yeah. I got straight up into MMA. So I had 4 fights, Portland, and then I did some in Montana, and it just took off from there. I only lost one. I lost twice in my amateur career, but my second fight was a loss here in my hometown. That one hurt the most. But losing is part of the game. It is what it is.
Right. Well, you're on a 2-win professional streak. Your opponent, she has, I think, 1 loss. She's coming into it with 2 wins and 1 loss, maybe. So you guys look pretty balanced. You'll be fighting Julia Dorny from Germany. She looks like a striker. You look a little more balanced from what I can see from your past fights. How do you think you'll measure up with her?
I'm very excited to fight Julia. I think it's going to be a great fight. I'm very well-rounded in everything. I train anything you can think of. Really, my gym has it all. So I'm not just strictly training one thing, and I'm very prepared for anything that she has to come at me. I think she does like a little bit more of like judo. She likes to throw, and that's okay. We have judo and jiu-jitsu here at my gym, and I'm very prepared. I'm very excited. I'm very happy that she took the fight. Sometimes it's hard to just find a girl that will fight you.
Right, exactly. Well, so tell me a little bit about, like, what actually got you into it and what influenced you. I know you said that you had an interest, but what was it feeling like as a girl coming up and seeing it? What attracted you and what really truly influenced you to sort of go in this direction?
Well, I mean, like I don't want to get too big into the background story of just certain things, but I basically was just in a really long relationship through high school and middle school, and I wanted to join the gym, and I was basically told like, no, you'll never, you can't do it, all that jazz. And then I walked right into the gym and I just started going for it. I had no fear. I wasn't really worried about anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I fit in really well and just took off from there, and being told no, that I couldn't do it, and like basically just being told no. I'm like, no, there's no way that's going to happen. I'm going to do whatever I want. And I literally left that relationship. I packed up all my stuff. It was a relationship of 11 years, very rocky, just left that relationship and moved into my mom's house, and started the gym. And then, it's kind of crazy. I met my husband at the gym, and it's just been a blessing, and I'm so grateful for it. It's completely changed my life.
That's awesome. Are you newly married, like, within the last year or so, or should there be congratulations? Are you honeymooning still? But your honeymoon is in the gym.
Pretty much, yeah. We're going to be going 4 years. So we're going to be married 4 years. So, it's still fresh, but it's super exciting. It's just flying by. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, wow. 4 years. So you survived COVID together.
Oh yeah, we did. That's actually like, we got married a little bit before then. Yeah. And so, yeah, we didn't ever have like our wedding party and stuff because of COVID, but it's all good. I'm not too worried about that.
Okay, good. So, tell me, maybe a few things, aside from that relationship that you kind of decided when you were told no, and you're like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to do this because I know I can. But what were maybe a few things that you felt the way your mind was working during that time, to share with other women or other people that are in difficult situations that you had that maybe some people might not have? That got you to take that leap, and that leap of faith in yourself to say, I'm avoiding the naysayers, as I think Arnold Schwarzenegger would say.
I was just trying to stay positive at the time. It was a pretty low time in my life that just needed some changes, and personally just needed to like come out of the negativity that I had in that relationship. Mm-hmm. But I was super excited. I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I love anything working out, anything like that. I'm pretty badass, and I'm pretty cocky. So I think MMA is perfect for me. And everyone, it's very humbling, right? Any day you train, you're just humbled by the experience of everything.
Right.
Just a positive mindset, though. That's just really what led me into it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So you basically had a strong will and a lot of confidence.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have confidence.
Yeah, you had a lot of
walking
confidence.
into the gym. Yeah, the gym can be a little bit intimidating at first, but they're so welcoming. Everyone's so nice. It's not like scary like you think.
Yeah. Were you initially scared when you first kind of stepped into any sort of atmosphere, or is it because you used to go to the boxing gym with your, family or whatever that you felt more comfortable there?
I wasn't scared at all. No, I didn't think about it like that whatsoever. I also, when I joined the gym, I had a friend of mine. She doesn't go to the gym anymore. She didn't last very long, which is funny, but we're no longer friends either. But we and her were like, let's do this. We're going to do it together and have fun. And it was like that for a little bit. She did not last. And I just kept with it, but nothing really scares me there. It can be intimidating sometimes. Like, I train with Vita Ortega. She can be very intimidating, but she's just been so helpful through my camp. Like, everyone's, even the women and the men, just, they're there for you. But I was never scared whatsoever. I was just ready to go. I was really angry. I wanted to grab a hold of someone, and I wanted to go and, go for it with, go at it on them. Let that aggression out.
Sure. I completely understand that. Years ago, one of my colleagues, compadres at the gym, it was recommended to her, because she had anger management issues, was to get into an MMA kind of gym to get rid of those frustrations and hit something. And it really worked well for her. She met her husband there, and is happily married too as well. But it seems to work for people, male and female, right? It just
Yeah.
really, you get to work through some of your emotions probably better than any sort of PTSD that sometimes people experience. I mean, they experience it in wartime, but there's also other what do you call it? Variations of PTSD, which you can experience in a relationship, I'm sure. But anyways, aside from that, what do you do when you're like in the cage or in a ring or whatever, to kind of flip a switch in yourself, going from like, oftentimes you see people walking out, fighters walking out to the ring and they're all like, ready to go and stuff. But then there's got to be that mindset when that door closes and then you're in there and you know that the girl across the ring wants to pound your face in or whatever, or submit you, rip your arm off or something. What's the switch that goes off in your mind when you're in the cage?
Pretty much kind of just like you said it. For me, it is the second they call my name and they're like, "Hey, you're walking out. You're getting prepared to go out." I'm like, "All right, it's go time. I am ready. This girl she's gonna come at me with everything she has, and I need to be there. I need to protect myself, and I need to come at her. And I'm not one to leave it in the judge's eyes. I don't like doing that. So it's either we win it, we win it, we submit, we knock out, TKO, whatever we have to do, but I do not leave it to the judges. So it's like that mindset to me is like I have to go and do what I need to do, what I've been training. And it's just like you said, a flip. When the door shuts, definitely you're like, it's go time. You're ready. But for me, it's right when I walk out, I'm just like calm, cool, collected. And I just remember everything we've worked on, and just go from there, really. But it's go time the second that cage closes, for sure.
Do you have anything you do the night before, like watch them? I've heard some fighters, they'll watch certain movies, they'll listen to certain music. Maybe they'll read. I mean, whatever you do, what's your thing before a fight? What do you do to kind of mentally prepare? Because usually during the week you're either cutting weight, so you're kind of relaxing. Today, I'm assuming, was probably your last really hard workout before next weekend or Friday. And so what do you do in the meantime to kind of, prepare mentally and getting ready for entering the cage?
Absolutely. I have I'll do like some pad work randomly. I do work a full-time job, so on top of training, I work 7 to 5. So Monday and Tuesday, I will still be working my normal job, just relaxing after work. I do like pad works, but like on Wednesday, we'll fly out Wednesday, and I do like to just relax, be in my cozy clothes. I like to watch a movie, relax. I do like to go swimming. That's like one of my things. I like to be in the hot tub or the pool and just like really be by myself, listen to some music, maybe shadow box around the hotel room for a while. I don't really sleep a whole lot when I know I'm fighting. It's just super exciting. I'm really anxious to do it and get out there and show everyone what we're made of down here in Idaho.
Great. Wow. That sounds like good. I like the swimming part. It's really good cardiovascular. Plus it's different on your muscles and everything. It's kind of a good cross training, right? Like for that to kind of relax a little bit after all the hardcore in the cave, in the gyms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What has been your greatest challenge with dealing with maybe the losses that you had, or any fears, and how do you overcome that as a fighter?
Well, I hate losing. That's pretty much it. And if I lose, I literally get back to training the next day. Like if it's on a Saturday, I'm back in the gym on Monday, and we're learning from how we lost. And my 2 losses that I've ever had in my career are to the judge's decision. So that also is like a mental thing for me, right? The 2 that I lost, I went all the way to the end and barely lost like by points, but it's like, you don't let that happen. We do not let that happen. So that's a big thing that I've tried to like keep my mind on. Like, I do not want the judges being the last person that make the decision if I win or not, because I just don't like that. But my first loss was my hardest here in my hometown. It was rough. I ate a lot of food that night. and spent some time with my husband, and then we were back at it, just going hard, and just getting back to it. That's all it is. You just don't sit around and do nothing. You just have to go back to the gym. It doesn't matter if you lose. Your teammates don't care if you lose. Like it's just part of it. You just got to go do it.
Yeah. So you're always on that progressive journey of improving your skills. You learn from the losses. And yeah, maybe, depending on what happens internally, like you beat yourself up. Oh, I could have done that better, could have done this better. And then you hit the gym again to improve on that. But what do you do mentally for that? Like not to, does it have any effect on, like we talked about you being really confident getting out of a relationship? And then when you have a loss, say in the cage, do you apply that power that you had getting out the relationship and then coming back and saying, okay, I had that loss. I can use my life experience and still move through this, but how much does it hit you because you love this, even, you love the activity of it. How much does it hit you in your soul about journey? Because I mean, realistically, when you're in the cage, you're in there for, I mean, if you're doing a championship fight, it's going to be 15 minutes. But if you're not, you got 3 rounds and you're in there for, how many minutes, and thankfully it's not longer than that. When I think of boxing, I'm like, oh God, but, it's very finite. I mean, it's the epitome of getting in there and getting raw, and you're basically completely exposed, naked with some other person in there. It's very visceral. And then you leave, either you win or lose. Does it really matter? I mean, yeah, sure, you want to win, but then when you leave, you want to go back and train right away, whether you win or you lose, right? Isn't it like that for you guys?
100%. That is exactly how it is. Taking the loss, or just like anything happening bad in the fight, I don't know. I just get back to it. I don't really try and I don't dwell on that stuff. It doesn't take that big of an impact on me.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we want all wins and stuff like that, but we just have to keep going. That's what this is all about, is just growing and learning and experiencing new things. Really, I don't take it too hard. I mean, I cry like a little baby in the locker room, and then, I suck it up and I get back to it. Really.
No crying. No crying in MMA. No crying in MMA.
Yeah, there is.
Crying in baseball. I know.
Yep. Men and women cry in MMA. I've seen it plenty of times.
I got to tell you a little.
But after the fight.
Yeah. I got to tell you a little story, because the girl that I mentioned earlier, she would cry after training, and she said it wasn't because it was like, like I was having a hard time or anything mental. It was just so intense. And that's the way I kind of just dump and release. And she would cry. And this is in the early days when guys didn't really, understand what it was to be female in the gym. And I'm like, yeah, all the girls got it. They're like, yeah, it was tough. It was intense. And she wasn't really like, second guessing herself or anything. She was just like, it was really intense. And I'm like really trying hard. And it was just an expression. So she would cry, and then the guys would see her and they would think she's not ready for a fight. She can't handle it. Like that was their interpretation of her, like crying. And she's like, no, I'm so ready to be in this. You have no idea. It's just like going from anger and then just like letting everything go. And so when you're saying, everybody cries, even the guys do after a fight or whatever, or they beat the, like they're like disappointed that they lose. I'm like, it's so good to hear that it's changed, that perceptions change, where women aren't judged by tears as being weak. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Yes, I love that. No, I mean, shoot, last week I saw one of our dudes just, he got pushed to his freaking limit, and he just had a moment, and that's okay. Yeah. This is like just a way to let those feelings out. Yeah. And that's totally natural.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's great that you understand that, and the men do too. That's wonderful to hear. I feel like I'm hearing all these different things that have occurred on a very subtle level just from I met with Dee Begley yesterday for an interview, and I have a couple other ones lined up. So everybody, I would love to get to everybody on the card this week. I don't know if that'll happen, but at least half. And she was saying some things that really surprised me that are so different now for you. You're like the next generation coming through and coming up. And it's your experience is definitely different than, say, mine or some of the other women coming up was. And even before that, some of the other ones that had pioneered and paved the way for everything. And it's so lovely to hear these subtle changes and the welcomeness that you're experiencing in getting to train. So I just wanted to highlight that because I'm just like, I'm blown away hearing this. I think it's wonderful. It's really great. So
That's so awesome.
Is there anything that keeps you up at night before a fight or during your training?
Not really. No, not really. Definitely before the fight, though, is the excitement. I'm just so excited and just anxious.
Yeah.
Even after you get through your weight cut and you weigh in, I still can't really sleep a whole lot. I'm up. I like to be up at like 6 a.m. I'm like, I'll hit the gym, but really that's about it. Every night of training, though, usually I go really, really hard, and then I stay up really late anyway. So, but no, it doesn't really mess with me at all.
That's good. How many workouts do you do? Like, you were in the gym this morning. You obviously cross-trained with swimming. I'm sure you have to do something, lift wise, or you probably have a striking coach, you have your jiu-jitsu coach. How many, like, say in one day, what does a day look like for Riley? And then expand that on a week, because as women, we want to look a certain way. And I know you're cutting weight to get in the gym and, or to get into the ring, and your regular walk around weight is different than what your fight weight is. And women want to always look like, the model that's on the cover of a magazine, or the fighter or the athlete that is in the ring. And how sustainable is that? And it's actually kind of not, unless they train like you do. Can you give us a rundown?
Well, yeah, no, I'll let you know my week. And you want to know, I actually probably there's 2 of us at the gym, and we cut the most weight out of everyone. So I am a heavy woman. I freaking love food. I like beer. So stuff like that. I definitely try to be as fit as possible. But when you are training as much as I do, that stuff doesn't matter at the time. And then when it comes to fighting, I will obviously clean it up and my weight will fall off. But I train at least, because I do, like I said, I work Monday through Friday, 7 to 5. I go directly to the gym. Monday is usually like a roll punch. So we like do an hour of just striking MMA. You just basically fighting each other for an hour. Mondays are usually like that. Tuesday followed by about 2 to 3 hours of training. We do jiu-jitsu for an hour, and then we have our MMA comp team, and you can do boxing as well. Wednesday followed by another hour or 2. We have MMA comp team, directly followed by sparring. You can also do jiu-jitsu before that as well. You kind of have to pick and choose what you want to do that day. I rotate things, but in fight camp, I strictly stay to my comp team, my MMA comp team, and my jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. I usually train so like 2 to 3 hours a day, but Thursday is also followed by jiu-jitsu, MMA. I can do boxing, and then Friday is an open mat day. You can do Muay Thai. Muay Thai is also on Mondays and Wednesdays, so I can do that as well. And then Saturday is followed by my strength and like conditioning. I do 2 plays, so I do a lot of my strength and conditioning on my own time. I have my own equipment at home that you just kind of gotta do what you gotta do at the gym, and then sometimes you gotta carry it out at home. Right. Soup plates is amazing though. That's like my main, like, people lift weights and stuff, but soup plates is my jam. Like they're heavy bags, I guess, throw them around and stuff like that. And followed by Sunday, I always am doing something. I either go to the gym for our gi open mat and do jujitsu. That's until however long you want, and then. Or I like to go outside and just go get a run and be outside. So I'm very active. I train every single day. I usually don't take a day off. I can't. If I don't do something, it just itches at my skin, and I mentally just have to release those endorphins in
Sure.
some way. But yeah, I just go for it every single day. You got to train.
Yeah.
Just how
So
I feel.
what about do you work with a nutritionist too? And when do you have your meals in between that schedule that you described that runs through the week? I mean, do you eat breakfast, lunch, dinner? Do you have snacks in between? How big are the portions? Like, what are you particularly eating for protein? That sort of thing. How do you, I mean, well, go shoot. You can answer.
No, it's okay. No, I like this question.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy because a lot of people do like work with a nutritionist, but I've literally never done that. I just, the first fight I ever had, I was like, okay, we're gonna do some turkey meat and we're gonna do some veggies. I always do breakfast. Like you said, I do breakfast. I have a snack at my work break. I have a big lunch,
Mhm.
followed by like a little snack before I train, and then I usually eat a really big dinner. I do lots of meat. Like this fight camp was a little different for me. I had to switch it up. Like I do like fish and tuna and shrimps and stuff like that, but this strictly I had to do like meats and veggies, and that's just like how I go off of how my body reacts to. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to the bathroom, am I not going to the bathroom? You know, stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
very important to stay
Exactly.
regular when you're
Ye-
cutting. Yes,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
to.
Totally.
You have
Totally.
to stay regular and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's about it. And then actually, so well, a couple months ago, I found a local meal prep plan, and they're pretty dope. So that's just helped with the variety of food and thinking of different options because you get bored of you doing like you just are like, what do I freaking cook right now? So that was helping with that, like that, and you can customize those meals. And it's pretty cool. It's a local thing over here in Idaho called Met Meals, and they will deliver to your door, and there's no extra cost for it. So that helped me get through the start of it, just like the variety of just switching things up, and those kept me really filled up, full. Because yeah, I cut a lot of weight usually, so I have to be smart about it, and I am not one to die in the sauna. I think that's ridiculous. I'm not one that's gonna like put blankets on me and sweat. I like to do it all by diet and healthy and just like coast my weight down until where I need to be until fight week and we weigh in. So right now I'm pretty much almost on weight. And I feel great. I feel awesome. I'm still, like I said, I'm still working. I'm still doing everything I need to do. It's just
Oh,
waiting till I get there because it's just so exciting.
yeah. Wow. That's really great because I know some women really struggle depending on their cycles. And then the other aspect
Mhm.
would be like whether or not you feel like while you're training and you're decreasing your intake, maybe that they feel flat during training, they don't feel energized. Have you experienced that and then knew how to adjust it? Did you need more protein or more carbs at certain times during the day? Or do you cycle what you eat, like what you eat? And like maybe one day it's really high protein, and then the next day, or are you pretty, carbs or something? Or are you pretty balanced on a daily basis? Or do you change what you eat up, every other day? Or how do you work that out?
Definitely. I kind of stick to the same thing. I do a ton of fruit. Some people are like, no fruit, it's sugar, and that's just absolutely freaking BS. So I do a ton of fruit. I like mango, just any kind of fruit. I consume a lot of fruit, and like nuts, things like that really, really help. But my like the consumption of food is about the same up until about probably the other day. I just start minimizing like the biggest like portions, and then like I make sure I eat before I train so I have my energy. But yeah, actually, like this fight camp was a little different. When I first started, like I said, I do like tuna fish. I was doing a lot of like I like fish. It's light, it's very high
Yeah.
protein, fat, stuff like that. But my body was like, nope, we don't like that. You eat. And I felt like just a little bit more drained. So
Mhm.
we switched it up. We got some steaks, more chicken, maybe some rice. I put rice in there, and it was like, okay, energized. Weight is still good. We're
Mhm.
doing great. So I definitely have to watch my body and how it goes. But I've had those moments before. The last few years, I've been really good with with these weight cuts, so I feel pretty energized. But in the past, in my amateur days, there's times where I was like, okay, this freaking sucks. I can't move. And you know, if that happens, that's okay. We just go to the bike or we hit pads. We just switch it up. But even if I feel like that, I'm very vocal. I'll tell someone, I'm like, yo, we just got to flow through this. And they always get it. Every single one of them, I've never had a problem with it. And they just, you know, your teammates help you get through it.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome that you have the support there, which is typical of a MMA gym anyways, but that's awesome that you have that support.
Yeah.
They can support you as a female because it's different than guys cutting weights for sure. It's totally different than what they do, you know, body wise, what they need to do. I think it's very different for what females have to do. But that's great. I'm glad you're how much weight do you have to lose before this fight coming up? How much did you have
like I said, I never told anyone really, but it doesn't really freaking matter because we're all cutting weight in the end and we're all freaking dying. But so I mean, I walk at 180. I walk at 180 pounds usually. And
listen, girls, you know, 180. I would never guess.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. Yeah, but like I said, when I'm training a lot, I eat what I want. I don't care. I mean, I do care, but I also am like, I'm enjoying my life when I need to and enjoying those times. And then, so I actually started this camp at 182 and I'm right on weight. I'm like at 148 pounds right now and I feel good. I'm eating, drinking, enjoying my coffee.
Leading a healthy lifestyle.
Man, that's what you gotta do. Yeah.
Wow. And you work. I'm just pointing this out. I want to remind our listeners, you work too, full time, right?
Yeah, I work full time at a machine shop. And I always do that. And that actually to me helps in fight camps. You know, if you're not doing something, you obsess or if you have the time and, you know, you can train all day, that's freaking dope. But I mean, I got to make money, you know, and pay my bills. And I love my job. My coworkers, my bosses, it's just a great environment and they're very helpful and they know when I'm cutting weight and they know, you know, I might be cranky, but that was in the past. Every time I've done it, it's changed and you become more lively and your body just gets used to it for the most part.
Right. Do you get hangry?
Yeah, I'm already kind of a biatch anyway. So, I can get hangry, but I do have a way to like trick my body if I'm like that. And that, you know, it's actually just consuming like little bits of nuts. I really find that very helpful. Nuts also help you stay regular and going to the, you know, just going potty and stuff like that. That's very important. But nuts and like little apples, I will pack like mini snacks when I have to work. So it's like, okay, you know, I'm going to eat this and stuff like that. Because Monday and Tuesday, I won't consume too much of a meal, you know, just little things just to keep the weight on point. But I'll still be eating and stuff. I won't be just dying or anything like that.
Right. And so then say after the fight, this is another thing listeners should hear is you go, how quickly do you get back to your normal walk around weight?
Mine goes up relatively fast. So like after I eat, I'm probably like, say we weigh in and then I will probably pop up to like 160, maybe that, not even that. My weight doesn't jump very much. It takes time because after you go through this process, you know, your tummy's shrunk. So it's really hard to start just consuming some of the boys are different. I've seen boys like eat so much food after. I'm like, how the F do you do this?
Yeah.
I have to, taking it slow, taking those in like little increments of food, and like little bits of noodles, you know, stuff like that. But after like a week, I'll be back to my normal full eating. And I might stay a little bit lower. Who knows? Maybe there'll be another fight. I might try and keep it a little bit lower, but my body's always been good. So it's never really bugged me to move my weight up and then, you know, have to bring it back down. I just think it's just part of it. You know, I do try to be fit and like just all the time, but I'm just a bigger woman. I am. So that's just how it is.
And you're happy with your, It sounds like you're happy with yourself as you are as a person. And the reason why all the questioning and the dirty details of all this is because most women struggle with weight and what they perceive is acceptable. And then when they hear from an athlete who actually does this, and you're cutting weight, you're not really truly dieting to lose weight to maintain that weight, whatever other people think is the ideal weight. You just got to be happy with where you're at and feel good about your body and the bottom line. So it's very it's always enlightening hearing from you athletes on what you go through to be who you are and to get in the cage, and the truth about what it is for a woman, and being happy with their bodies the way they are, and everything moving and functioning in an efficient way, and still feel good and energized and love what you do in your life.
Absolutely, yeah, that's what you got to do. And obviously the best part about cutting weight is I have abs right now, but I don't give a hoot and a holler about that after. Like,
get pictures, get pictures, right? Get pictures. So when you're
I do every time.
When you're 90, yep, there was a period of time I had washboard abs. Yep.
I know some people are like, "Do you have abs all the time?" I'm like, absolutely not, no way. And I don't care about that. Like, but it looks cool. It looks cool.
Yeah. It's just one point in time. It's like, yeah, I got there. So, like, it's not something that you're going to maintain. It's like, did it, done it, moving on.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. So can you share a time in your martial arts journey that you experienced like an aha moment of realization, that where like the light bulb just went on?
I guess every day is like that, but I guess, man, that's a hard question. My attitude, I really just had to change my attitude. I know when I started the gym, I was pretty hard to coach. Things like that. I like everything to go good. I want to always win. And I know I could be an asshole. I know I can be like that. And so I just really had to change my mindset. These people are helping me and this isn't the end of the world. And once I learned, like, okay, this is cool, we're good, and we're like, no big deal. It really helped everything, including like in my jiu-jitsu journey and stuff like that, like competing in jiu-jitsu. But just really changing your mindset and knowing, like, just keeping it open. That was like, okay. And then I really started just like absorbing every little thing that every coach was telling me and just using that to get better, really, in the end.
That's awesome. Can you share anything that no one knows about you? Or might not know?
Oh man, I don't know. To deal with MMA or anything?
Anything.
I don't know. I think everyone knows everything about me. I don't have any secrets.
You're an open book.
No, I'm not. No. I know. I'm pretty open. Nothing too crazy. Okay. Well, this is totally random, but you're asking me anything that no one knows about me. But when I was younger, I actually was born with a heart condition. I actually was born with an extra valve. Oh, wow. So I actually had to go under a big open heart surgery. It was crazy. It was when I was younger. It took about actually like 6 years to figure out what was going on, working with cardiologists. But yeah, so it was kind of crazy. And what was crazy about that time is that, so basically what would happen is the heart, the extra valve would move itself and it would pump blood erratically into my body, which would cause my heart rate to either stop or just go crazy. So I would have to literally go to the hospital. I would have to get an IV, which they basically would just stop my heart. And then it would go back to normal. It was crazy. I would always vomit too after that happens, every single time. And then literally I was on a waiting list for like a year for surgery. And my stepmom, who works at the hospital, she like calls me and she's like, "Hey, you got in to surgery tomorrow. Like, you're having surgery." So I did that, and that was crazy. They went in through my chest with giant tubes, and then they actually went in through the groin with tubes, and they did it all that way, cut it out. And then literally after that, it was great. I've never had a problem with anything. I've never felt anything after that. But I don't really tell a lot of people that, because people just jump to conclusions. They're like, they're like, oh, are you sure you should be getting your heart rate up? But I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I've literally never had an issue.
Wow, that's incredible though, like to experience that and go through that. And then were your folks a little kind of, when you were getting into boxing and MMA, a little concerned because of that, even after the surgery?
Absolutely not. No, no one ever even thought about it. This happened when I was like little kid, and still in elementary school.
Okay.
But no, I just do what I want to, but my family's very supportive. No one's ever said anything about it. Actually, I've never really thought about it, just going with the flow. But my family is super supportive of what I do and everything that I do with MMA. They were super pumped for me when I started. So that was nice. No one told me I couldn't in my family. So,
Well, that's good. But other people did. And here you are now to say, ha ha, here I am, right?
yeah, look at me now, sucker. Like,
Yeah,
look what I'm
exactly.
doing. And I'm happy as heck.
Yeah, right. Awesome. So, you're coming to Boston on this Wednesday to fight at the House of Blues in Boston here for Invicta 54. Your opponent is Julie Dorny from Germany. Do you have anything you'd like to say that's a little like, I'm coming after you, or like, do you just, anything, whatever comes to mind about, a little kind of, let's get this show going kind of thing. I don't know.
Oh man, I'm super humbled. I seem like I'm not like that, which is surprising. I'm just ready to go do our thing. Like, I know we're both ready to do our thing. And I don't like obsess about my part. Like, the person that I'm gonna fight, yeah, we look up, what we're doing, but I don't give a hoot and a holler about what they're doing. I focus on myself, and I know that there's a reason we got matched up. And I think we're going to be a good fight. And I know that I'm going to bring it, and I know that she's going to bring it. But I'm not very like, I don't know. Some people just talk big smack on each other before a fight, but I don't believe in that. I'm very respectful to my opponent, which is surprising. And I'm like all handshakes and then like you said, the second we get in that cage, it's like, hey, F you, I'm going to beat the crap out of you. And then after, we can shake each other's hand or hug or whatever you feel. I've only had one girl that like didn't want to do that, and that's fine. I beat her up and she fucking went on her way. So, but I just am excited, and I'm grateful for her, and I'm ready for her at the same time, I'm skilled and she's skilled. So let's just go for it. I'm very excited to fight her. I'm very excited to fight in the House of Blues. That's like a big deal. All these famous musicians have played there. Just anything, like lots of famous people have been there. Never been to Boston, so it's going to be fun.
And it's the first time Invicta's been in Boston. So to me, it's a milestone in MMA for women to actually, up here, there was a lot of poo-poo for a long time. No, women won't be in the UFC. No, women, and then there were promotions in this area. They would let the girls, females be on the fight cards and stuff. And it slowly took hold, but it's taken 11 years for Invicta to get up here. I'm like, why? Why did it take so long? I'm like, but I'm so thrilled that they're here, and that they're coming, this week. So did you have any like shout outs that for sponsors or your teammates? Basically, the floor is yours to give that.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's a lot, but, yeah, I do actually. Obviously my gym, everyone at my gym, every single person plays a part in my camp, not just my fight team, and my coaches. And then my sponsors have been so supportive. Everyone has like so many, but I'm just starting out with stuff like that. And I have a couple that I do want to shout out. I have Cathie clothing company. They're amazing. They help make all of my gear. They do videography for me. They were my very first sponsor when I ever started doing MMA. The lady that braids my hair, her name's Miss K Does It. She's amazing. She's local. She goes above and beyond. She braids my hair. Every fight I've had, I train Sue Plays here in Boise, Idaho, and that is a big thing for me. I actually just competed in a little tournament for them and won gold, so that was cool. You know, and then my gym overall, and just SBG Idaho, the name of it, you know, it's just they've been amazing for me. It's just absolutely wonderful. You know,
Yeah.
and the Volt, I just got the Volt as a sponsored last year, 2 years ago, and they're a local cigar and cocktail lounge. And they've been so super, super, super supportive. I almost forgot because you asked me and I'm all like, I don't know, but they're actually doing a meet and greet for me. They're doing a meet and greet for me here in Idaho at their new location, and that's tomorrow.
Nice.
So it's just like everyone just, you know, just super awesome. Everyone's super helpful towards getting me to the fight and just supporting me. So it's cool.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you for being on the show. It was really great to learn more about you, Riley. And I wish you the best against your, you know, your fight coming up. And I hope you know, come out of there victoriously. And I'm looking forward to seeing you actually live in Boston. So we'll check out, and I'll see. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a chance to maybe have a picture or something with you soon.
Okay, I would love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hey, wow, what a great interview with Riley Martinez. What a great gal. I'm looking forward to seeing her fight come this Friday night in Boston again. Yes, can't wait. She again faces Julie Dorny from Germany, and they will be fighting on March 27th at Invicta 54. How about that? So yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, leave a review because it helps people find the show. And on the review, go ahead and mention Riley Martinez and how she may have inspired or motivated you. And if you liked what you heard today and are eager to hear more, never miss an episode from Evolve WMMA by remembering to subscribe or download on iTunes, or you can find us on Podomatic and Spotify at Evolve Women's MMA. Or if you prefer to watch, you can find a new episode on YouTube at Evolve Women's MMA. And go ahead and check out our website at www.evolvewmma.com. And lastly, if nothing else, you can simply follow us at Facebook.com/I love WMMA. This is Shelley Devine. Until next time, thanks for listening.